Hey, welcome back to Owl Dragon Adventures. I'm Scott Kegler.
And I'm Rob MacPherson.
And this is Rob's Top 10.
All right, so it's that time of year again where we're going to go ahead and break down what our top 10 games were. If you haven't seen Scott's yet, then take a look at his. You saw there was a bit of a shake-up in there from his last year, and mine is even more shaken up than it was last year.
You did a gameplay challenge too.
Yeah, I did the 365 gameplay, which I'm going to... if I had to do it again, I'd do a little bit more because I broke that, I think, right after Gen Con, if I remember correctly.
Well, I think our goal is next year, too, and we'll probably post something about it either on TikTok or a quick video here about moving to doing some 10x10s and 5x5s.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a 10x10 for the channel, and then each of us have a 5x5 for our solo plays.
Mm-hmm. So that'd be a little bit easier, and then it was a lot to track, everything else this year.
Yeah, I definitely missed some games.
But that affected your choices, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I got to play a lot of the games several more times that I probably wouldn't have, which bumps some up the list and some down the list. So
yeah, that was very surprising for my list.
Yeah. So without further, I just will clarify. I will do some shout outs later on of some of the games that missed our list, not because we didn't love them and they didn't rank high, just because we haven't played enough of them. We didn't think it was fair quite yet.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a few on my list that I bumped off posthumously because I'm like, nah, I love it, but I've only played it 3 times.
Right.
Whereas this other game I've played 20 times.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so with that, I'm going to start off with my number 10. So my number 10 is going to be Moonrakers from IB Studio. It's funny, both Scott and I love this game for very different reasons. You like it from the negotiation side and the psyop side, like the mind screwing and such. And I like it because of the deck building. I think it's an excellent deck builder. I like the way it builds. There's not too many choices. They all feel like they have good effects on it. Also there's just there's the way that you build out your ship that acts as like an engine build to supplement the deck building. So I think it's a really, really solid title. There's rarely a time that somebody says, hey, you want to play Moonrakers, that I'm not gonna be like, I'm all in. So
and we mentioned in my video, I forgot to mention it here, I'm trying to guess what his top 10 is this year.
Yeah.
And this was not on my list, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So I completely whiffed on this one.
In your defense, if one of the games that you had actually asked me about at the very beginning had kept its ranking on the list, this would not have been.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
So, yeah, no, I like this game a lot. So, all right. So that was my number 10. So moving on to my number 9. So my number 9 is going to be Small Samurai Empires from Arcona Games. Did you get this one?
I don't think I did, which is shocking.
Right. But this was really high up my list last year.
It was number 8. It was both for number 8s.
That's right.
It's really funny. It's both for number 9s this year.
Is it really?
Yeah. So like, which is shocking that I didn't pick it, but like,
I think why neither one of us kind of saw it coming a little bit is because we haven't played it very much this year.
No, but I freaking love it. It's an amazing game, and absolutely. I really think it's not played enough.
Yeah. No, we got to get to this table more. In fact, we should play all of our top 10s sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Sure.
I just overcommitted myself. Yeah, so Small Samurai Empire, very elegant game, area control, action planner. You sweep up and down the islands of Japan in terms of the order of the actions, which I think is just a beautiful way to do it. I love the action planning and the unique cut little meeples.
Yeah, and I deluxified it a little bit so far, too, so it's a little bit nicer with the wooden pieces.
That's right, I forgot about that. Yep. Yeah, so just great game. Yeah, check out our series on the Arcona trilogy. There's 2 more games in this. This is my absolute favorite of the 3.
But they're all kind of wins.
Pretty large. Yeah, they're all wins, but this is probably a pretty large margin. I like this one. So yeah, that was my number 9.
Nice.
So moving on to my number 8. So my number 8, and now I'll admit this one might be cheating our minimum game plays a little bit.
I did get this one though.
Yeah. It's just this one I am, and I guess there's another one. The Orleone. I guess I could have left it on because I know that's going to stay on my. But I think we've gotten 4 plays of this in, so it was close. Anyways, I digress. If you are not aware of what Planet Unknown is, it is a polyomino style game where you are pulling pieces from a Lazy Susan, and depending on whose turn it is, they get to pick the position of the Lazy Susan, and then you have a certain amount of selections based off of that.
If you're in Gen Con, you know that it sold out on the first day.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott being the great gamer that he is, got it. Oh, no, you didn't just grab it. You grabbed it. You grabbed the deluxe edition, and you grabbed all of the neoprene mats.
The neoprene mats.
Yeah, I mean, we need the neoprene mats. I've actually considered picking it up. It was at PAX. Even the deluxe edition was at PAX, but they didn't have the neoprene mats, and
which are not
that might have been a deciding factor in whether or not I impulse bought it.
They're not necessary.
No, they're not, but they're really nice to put the polyomino pieces on and pick them up off.
Yeah.
So we're making excuses for ourselves at this point. But yeah, Planet Unknown. Like this one a lot. Yeah, it's a really fun puzzle. I like what it adds to it. It adds the technology tracks on the side for each time you play. So yeah, that one just really tips to the top of the polyominoes.
And it's somewhat modular too. Would you like that too?
Yeah, I do like modular, and it's got the asymmetrical.
Okay.
PAX has not left my system yet. Yeah, great polyomino game. I'm gonna move on to my number 10, 9, 8, 7 is next.
Math.
All right, so in at number 7 is going to be Cthulhu Death May Die.
It's 2 for 2 for me. Sorry, not 2 for 2. It's 2 out of 4. Math.
So this one fell considerably on my list. Still staying within the top 10. But I think this was my number 2 last year.
Okay.
I still absolutely adore it. It is great. I do love my co-op games. It's as Scott puts it all the time, it's a great cinematic experience. We are never not completely tense and standing around.
Well, and so many games try to do this. Like, and I think they're still good games. Like, I think Nemesis is a good game.
Yep.
It just isn't quite as cinematic.
No, it just doesn't quite. We'll have to give it more fair shakes, but no, I don't think it's ever going to beat the drama
through
that this,
and like with the torch, and you got to get to the last room. Yep. It's like it's always like this like buzzer beater.
No, absolutely love this game. I mean, we rave about it all the time. So if you watch our stuff, you know that we love this game. I know I promised you last year that we were going to do some actual plays of this. We're going to do it this year. I swear. Right. So that was my number 7. So moving on to my number 6. All right, so for me, number 6 is going to be Xia Legends of a Drift System, or Xia Legends of a Drift System, or Xia, or Xia, or Xia. We have no idea how to pronounce it. I'm going to just be blunt about it. I've seen it pronounced like 6 different ways online. Yeah. So this game right here, absolutely love it. It is a great sandbox style game. You've got missions to accomplish. You can go, I was going to say prospecting, but no, that's Western Legends. You can go asteroid mining to get resources. Like you can just be a merchant. It is. Yeah, no.
It's just with less gravity.
Exactly. And what beats this out for, or beats Western Legends for me in terms of this game is that the modular way you mess with your ships and the extra ships. So it's a polyomino system of putting your cargo into the ships, and then you can upgrade your ships, which give you a bigger and different shaped cargo bay. So just really, really clever.
Also, there's multiple NPCs versus there's only one NPC. Or no, there's 2 NPCs in Western Legends.
Sheriff.
Bandits and Sheriff.
Yeah, bandits.
But they're much more interactive NPCs in this game.
Yep. So absolutely love this one. I have my own copy sitting at home unplayed because we just play it here so often. But I picked it up because it's a solo game, and I got to get it at the table solo as well. It's a solo game with a specific expansion. Normally it's 3 to 5 players. But yeah, so Xia from Far Off Games is gonna take my number 6.
Awesome. I got that one.
Number 5 for me is this is a new one that I just picked up this year. It's Tricarion Legends of Illusion from Mind Clash Games. This was an impulse buy at Gen Con. I have loved stage magic since I was a little kid, and I love worker placement games. So a worker placement game about stage magicians just caught my eye. And I grabbed it, and then when I got home, I immediately picked up pretty much all the expansions after I had played through it a single time. I've played it solo 4 or 5 times at this point, which is saying something because this is a big game. Huge table presence.
It's funny, I've warmed to it.
You weren't sold on it right away.
The funny thing is I'm really good at it. Like
Scott's like, I don't know if I like this game. I got a 92. What'd you get? 30.
like the last one, I think like 160 something.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's like...
Yeah, he's brutal at it. But I mean, that's just worker placement.
Yeah.
Because and that's one thing I will say, like, it doesn't do anything for worker placement, like, that's completely mind-blowingly different, with probably the exception of the extra puzzle for the performances.
Yeah, that's the main difference.
Yeah, but there's just something about the elegance, the way everything goes together, and it could just be very theme-forward for me that does it, because it does feel thematic to me.
I enjoy it.
I got a bunch of expansions I still need to play in it, including the Academy expansion, which I've heard is one of those essential expansions that once you start playing with it, you never play without it, which is one reason I haven't played with it yet, because I'm a little afraid. But no, Mind Clash Games, I knew about them, and then I backed Septima from them,
Right.
and that's what drew me to their booth, and that's when I picked this up, and they have quickly climbed up my my favorite publisher list. I love their games. I love the way they work. I love the fact that almost all of them are heavier weight than Twilight Imperium. And I love my heavyweight games, which, although I will admit that all the time I set up a game and I take a picture and I send it to Scott. I'm like, why am I like this?
Yeah.
Why do I like games that takes me 35 minutes to set up before I can play? But yeah, Tricarion, absolutely love it. So that was my number 5. 5.
Math.
It's not even math, it's counting. Okay, so that was my number 5. So moving on to number 4. So number 4 for me is Merchant's Cove from Final Frontier Games.
I got this one.
Why? Just because I haven't stopped talking about it since I bought it?
Yeah, and actually,
I've spent
it's
an
also
additional
just
$150 on it since I bought it.
It was also a crowd favorite at for the group too.
So this one, I've been seeing the Kickstarter for the second run of it for a couple of weeks. And Scott actually mentioned to me, I think it was literally within the last 24 hours. He's like, I'm surprised you haven't backed that one yet. I'm like, I was thinking about it. So I did.
Super asymmetrical.
Yeah. And then I found on some online site, I don't remember which one, I found the original game because it's a little hard to find right now till the reprint comes out. But I found it. And we played it once, and I immediately bought all of the expansions, like all of the expansions. So, because I mean, one of them is the Dragon Rancher. How could I not own the Dragon Rancher?
No, I mean, the one I've been enjoying was one of the ones you got recently. So yeah.
Yeah, the Innkeep. Yeah, Mr. Nasty.
Yeah.
But it is at its core, it's a worker placement style game with an economy where you're building or acquiring wares that then you sell during the actual selling phase. But what we love about it, and what I love about it specifically, is that everyone's playing a different game. So like the Dragon Rancher, that's a bag draw game. The Oracle is a roll and write game. I still don't know how to describe the Innkeep. It's like
a prediction game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all worker placement, so it's
yeah.
His is weird. It's like I haven't mastered. I did better this last time, but it's anyways.
Yeah, but anyway, so there's just such a variety, and in the new ones, there's ones like a bag builder, which I love. So there's a lot of variety to it. What I love about it is that even if you're not necessarily in the mood for it, if somebody asks you if you want to play, you're like, I was really in the mood for like a bag draw kind of game. Oh, I can do that still. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. So it hits the table a lot because of that. So yeah, that was my number 4 game, Merchant's Cove. So
doing well, or doing okay.
Yeah. Moving on to number 3. All right, so number 3 for me is going to be Too Many Bones by Chip Theory Games. I mean, if you've watched any of our videos or TikToks, you know that Chip Theory Games owns our wallets.
Mostly yours, but yeah.
Yeah, mostly mine.
I'm not far behind you.
Yeah, I discovered the Too Many Bones. I didn't discover. I picked up Too Many Bones last year at PAX, so about a year ago now, and we've swarm bought everything, including all the expansions coming out in the near future. We both have Riffle coming.
Yeah. It's one of those ones like it's been kind of talked about a lot, but the secondary market middle and end of last year was so nuts on it because this was out of stock.
Yep.
And then it finally came in stock, and he had picked it up. I was hemming and hawing, and I ended up grabbing it and right in.
Yeah, it's again, the asymmetry really sells it to me. I love rolling all the dice. I love plotting out which dice I'm going to get. I think you like the actual tactical battles a little bit more in terms of the tactics. I just like the skills and screwing with the skills.
I love synergizing skills in a game, and that's basically what the majority of the game is going like, what would be cool with what powers, and then understanding like how do they work against certain the enemy's powers, and like that's the whole game. Like if you like min-maxing D&D characters, like this is your game. This is the game.
No, like, that's a great way to put it. This is D&D min-maxing the board game.
Right, that's all you're doing. It's like trying to be like, how do I get the perfect and like, ooh, like these characters work really well together. Like this is a lethal combination.
Yep.
And then you just kind of adjust it according to the enemies, because the game doesn't care what it throws at you. Like,
no, it's like, very random in that respect.
It does not like scale for you a little bit, but
yeah, it just scales on how many it throws at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Too Many Bones. That's going to be my number 3.
Awesome pick.
Yep. So moving on to number 2. Number 2 on my list is going to be Burn Cycle, another Chip Theory Games game. And as Scott said, as I pulled it off the shelf, I have never been so grateful that he also picked up a copy of this game, so I didn't have to lug it over here today.
That's funny happenstance.
Yeah. So at PAX Unplugged, I actually taught this multiple times over the weekend. I worked for Chip Theory at their booth, and now I want to play it so desperately. But that's it is a so in Burn Cycle, you play as part of the 404th Robot Resistance, fighting back against your human overlords. It's a stealth heist game, but it's got 2 puzzles to it, because you're sneaking into the corporate offices in a physical space, and then you're also hacking into the network. And yes, this is almost word for word what I said like 3,000 times.
I had to teach games too. I get it.
Yep. But I just love the synergies of it. I love the puzzles of it. I love the asymmetry of it. I love I just found a campaign mode, which apparently was released at the same time. It just wasn't released in box, but it's a rescue mode. So you like have to rescue your bots as you go. So I have it set up and ready to go, but I haven't played it yet.
No, we should probably play it as our next like Sunday game.
Yep. And we definitely right before this just broke open the lore box and started
I finally
playing
put batteries
the
in the cassette player, which was also a trip, because I haven't put batteries into a cassette player in like 20 years.
Possibly more. 20 years ago was CD era.
I still probably had tape somewhere sitting there. But like it was just funny. We're sitting there, we're like, this is so weird. Like listening to the hum.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so weird. But yeah. So Burn Cycle, my number 2 game. Absolutely adore it. It's a beast to get to the table, and I never regret getting it to the table.
No, I really want to play it again soon.
Yep. All right, so that's my number 2. So moving on to my number 1 pick. So my number 1 game, it's going to be Wonderland's War from Skybound and from Druid City Games. It is a bag building area control style game with like a rondel system of picking and filling the bags. Mm-hmm. The theme just shines through so well. The chaos, the insanity. It's just, it's so great. And I picked up the deluxe copy because, of course, I did. But it comes with little mini poker chips that you put in the bags, which
makes
is
a huge difference.
Yeah, it's my absolute favorite way of doing a bag build. I like the board game bits. That's a close second for me. Just something about the edges on the poker chips. But I will play this anytime. My only regret about this game is that there is no solo mode, because there's some unofficial ones that I'm probably going to break out and play. But I would play this solo all the time. I love the puzzle of figuring out which areas you want to control with the meeples.
Almost every game, only 2 games are not soloable on this table.
Yeah. Yep.
1, 2.
2. Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I have a theme. Although I've only played 1, 2, 3. I've only played 4 of them solo. Because I haven't played Zaya, Cthulhu, or Planet Unknown.
I mean, Cthulhu, if you're going to play it solo, just play with Rasputin. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so Wonderland's War, my absolute favorite. When it hit the top of my list this year, I was briefly shocked, and I was like, no, I'm not that shocked. It's just so much fun. I deluxified even the deluxified version a little bit. I went onto Etsy and I picked up some stickers for all the meeples.
Nice, yeah.
So all the meeples have little stickers on them, and they're gorgeous, and I absolutely love them. I got to paint all of the minis next. But yeah, I foresee this coming to my table a lot over the next year also. So yeah, that's going to be my top 10 for this year. Let's see how much it evolves before next year.
So I got 7 out of 10. Correct.
All right, nice.
Only a few misses.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, so that's my top 10 for this year, and we're gonna.
If there are games that you think that, based on what you saw on Rob's list, that he should be playing that you haven't seen here, go ahead and leave those in the comments, or any of the games that moved off of Rob's list that got knocked off. And you have questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments as well. We will get to all of them. Happy to have that conversation, or be like, why the heck did this come off? Or like, sorry, we've just played a lot of games this year. But otherwise, I hope this was helpful. And with that, we wish you good luck with all of your future board game adventures.
And thank you for joining us on ours.